Hello and welcome back to the channel. Isn't a really big news day today, but we will get into what has come up in the NBA. First, we have the Clippers have officially moved on from a James Harden trade. Couldn't put a package together there. A lot of pieces would have had to be moved in order to get James Harden, and the 76ers did not look like they were willing to get Tyrese Maxey. So with that not being on the table, it looked like the Clippers would have to be out. The 76ers do not want to become a bottom-feeding team, and they essentially do want to become a contender if they are going to get rid of James Harden. They'd be looking for more of a Damian Lillard trade, and let's be real, Portland isn't looking to switch things up and get James Harden returned for Lillard either. Still interesting to see, however, if anything happens with James Harden, where there was the Daryl Morey comments. Daryl Morey, of course, had some Hong Kong comments a couple summers ago, and now James Harden, as he goes to China, he says that he won't do anything for Daryl Morey anymore because he's a liar and he doesn't want to do anything with part of the team, but he opted into a player option which nobody saw coming earlier on this summer. We'll have to see what develops into that, and will they move him for essentially pennies on the dollar, or will they get a fair trade back in return for him? It's hard to say with how teams are valuing players today in the NBA, and what team is going to want to give up another player that can be a star next to Embiid right now in return for James Harden, who, since he's left Houston, has not been the most reliable guy around. Of course, he left Houston by not playing, not showing up to camp, and then he gets moved to the Brooklyn Nets, hardly plays at all with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and then gets moved to Philadelphia. Had a really solid season this year, probably should have been an all-star, but there was some news that he didn't make it initially as a reserve or a starter, and Adam Silver called him. He basically sulked because he didn't initially make the all-star team, and then eventually Adam Silver was like, enough's enough. By the time he did hear a response back from Harden, it was days later, and Pascal Siakam had already been chosen by Adam Silver. I'm sure we can all remember a blockbuster trade of how Kristaps Porzingis ended up on the Boston Celtics earlier this summer. Porzingis was said to have been traded for Malcolm Brogdon in pieces. However, Brogdon did not pass a medical, so the Wizards hung up the deal. Malcolm Brogdon's very angry at the Celtics, though, for looking to trade him. The former sixth man of the year, of course, had a great campaign last year, shooting about 44% from three. So, real key, important piece off the bench for the Celtics, who could start on any given night if they have injuries or just looking to shake things up. Malcolm Brogdon might miss the beginning of the season. It looks like he will with an injury. However, when he comes back, let's hope he can still pick up the pace that he was at the end of last year and going into the playoffs. Great piece. Loved watching him last year, and I love what Malcolm Brogdon can do to any team that he gets on. He's a great player, a good leader, a diplomat, you could say, and is also a very efficient shooter. Surgery wasn't deemed necessary for the 2023 injury that he sustained. However, he said there would be a protest for him being put on the trade block. I would have to agree. If you're in Malcolm Brogdon's situation, do you really want to be moved from the Celtics, who are a contender right now? No, you don't. Obviously, the NBA is a business at the end of the day. However, Brogdon is a key piece to the Celtics. Them trying to move off him, I guess it was a really win-now situation with Kristaps. Kristaps also a lot of injuries in the past, so you're taking a gamble there. But the Celtics having to ride 35 or 36-year-old Al Horford all the time is not ideal. So getting a big man in Kristaps and having to give up Brogdon when you do have some guard depth in Derek White and Peyton Pritchard, if you're looking to play him some more minutes, is probably a good situation. You're giving up a good player for a good player. Kristaps obviously does have a better skill set, I would say, than Malcolm Brogdon, but that's not to say Brogdon is not a great player in his own right. Julius Randle of the New York Knicks is also signed with WME for his representation. Randle was previously a client of CAA and has deep ties, of course, with the New York Knicks. CAA does. Randle signed with the Knicks on a 4-year, $117 million contract extension in August 2021 and is now switching over to WME. Could this mean that Randle gets moved from the Knicks? We'll have to see come deadline. This could mean a move is in place. Of course, fans of the Knicks are not huge on Julius Randle. It seems to be mixed depending on how he's playing. He does shoot the ball a bit, too much, and he also does get a few too many turnovers. Not a great defensive player, but when he's on, he's a big man that can do a little bit of everything. And let's not forget that he was an all-star just about a year ago. And finally, the San Antonio Spurs are signing Seth Milner out of Toledo. He went undrafted in 2023. Not a huge prospect coming in, but I did think he was going to go late second round. Let's see if the Spurs can turn him into anything. Maybe he'll get some playing time now that Campaign is out of the rotation. He might be able to slip in. Let's see if he impresses Greg Popovich and the rest of the staff. All right, I hope you like this new idea that I've had of me just showing my face on camera. Something new to me. I wanted to make things a little bit more exciting than just the pictures of videos that I've shown in the past. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like, and let's keep up to date, keep in touch, and lots of news coming each and every single day. This has been Court Chronicles, signing out.